we're going to bring all three of the most recent party leaders and party premiers to the stage. And I'm going to remind us of the illustrious history of the Progressive Labour Party and how we're going to stand behind our current premier and move this country, or continue to move this country forward and continue to stand strong for Bermudians. So, Mr. DJ, as you play the music a little louder, we will bring our former premiers and former party leaders to the stage. We're going to start with the Honorable Dr. Hewitt Brown. Let's give him a round of applause, ladies and gentlemen. The Honorable Alex Scott, former party leader and premier. And the Honorable Dame Jennifer Smith. Let's give him a round of applause. Let's get loud from you there. Solid. PLP. PLP. All the way.
Hello, PLP! Hello, PLP! Thank you. Thank you. Solid as a rock. To the party leader, to the party executive, the parliamentary caucus, all the hard workers in the Progressive Labour Party, to my colleagues, former premiers, good evening. I have 5 minutes. My name is Hewitt Brown. It was my pleasure to have served as the leader of this party and the leader of the government from 2006 to 2010. Thank you for that opportunity. When I was asked to come tonight, I wondered what would be the best thing for me to say, and I asked a few people what I should focus on during my time. I was told that there are some young people in Bermuda who have forgotten the history of the Progressive Labour Party, that they might not vote on Monday. Now, aside from that being a psychiatric problem, let's talk for a minute. Let's talk for a minute. If you don't vote, and if you don't put the Progressive Labour Party back in power, you will be allowing people to write your history. And that's why they call it his story. If you want to write your own history, then you must support the party that brought the opportunity to you in the first place. I can't even imagine. I cannot imagine a young person in Bermuda, especially a young black person, having the gall to say that they might not vote. All of our fallen soldiers, all of the blood, sweat, and tears that has been put into making the changes in this country, there's no way that we can accept that from young or old people. I read the other day, and you know, you have to forgive me, I've been traveling a lot lately, but I read where one of the candidates for the UBP, no, I said UBP. You thought I was out of touch? No. A UBP candidate she was asked about race, I think she was debating Alex's son on television. She said, wait, let me tell you guys something. Being absent doesn't mean being ignorant. She said, race is a distraction. It hurt me, and then it angered me. Race is a distraction. And I'm going to spend my last 2 minutes talking about how you must never, ever allow anybody to tell you that the race and the discussion of race and racism is a distraction. Don't let anybody tell you that. When I was talking about it in 2007, 8, and 9, there were people who were accusing me of being divisive. Oh, Dr. Brown is playing the race card. And I said to them, there's no need for me to play it because it's never been out of play. And so you must never allow people to take away from your opportunity to discuss the thing that has meant more to you in your life. Tell me one other thing that has dominated your life and your existence more than race. That's why they want us to stop talking about it. Don't stop talking about it. And you know what? Even if you stop talking about it, the people are not going to stop talking about it. Because every time there's an election in Bermuda, in the last 10 days or so, especially when some people can see that they're not going to come out too good, they start turning on that raw racism. And you see it. They refer to ministers on the blogs as a piece of you-know-what. They say nasty things about you. They call you uneducated. They call you ignorant. They call you sheep. Well, I want to see all the sheep, all the uneducated, send a message on Monday. Send a message on Monday. Let me say to you that the other thing that I would like to point out from my observations is that there are too many of us apologizing for the Progressive Labor Party government. Well, yes, we made some mistakes. Who doesn't? Who hasn't? Some people haven't even been elected so they can make mistakes. Folks, the history of Bermuda is in your hands. On Monday, no matter what else you do, I'm not going to ask you just to come out and vote PLP. No, I came tonight to ask you to do something special. I came to ask you to write down the names of 20 young Bermudians under the age of 35 and make it your personal responsibility to see that they go to the polls on Monday. Make it your personal responsibility. I would end where I began. To allow others to write your history is to give up everything that your ancestors fought for. It would be an embarrassment if we would allow that to happen. So I urge you, in the name of all those whom we respect and adore, that you come out on Monday and you send a message that says, we are not just moving forward, but we are not finished yet. Thank you.
Solid as a rock. That's what this love is. That's what we've got. Oh.
Good evening. You know, slogans are slogans for a good reason, because sometimes you just want to express that feeling that you have inside in the simplest means possible, and you want other people to understand what it is. Solid as a rock. Things like that. We all know what it means. I just want to say a few things to you this evening. First of all, we are blessed to live in this country. We live in a beautiful country that other people would die to live in. And we need to do everything we can to make sure that this country remains beautiful for everyone that lives in it. I want you to know that the party to which I belong, the Bermuda Progressive Labor Party, is a party that from its inception sought to include everyone. Everyone. People tend to forget that some of our greatest fighters, Dr. Barbara Bowl, David Allen, have not been of our color, but they have been some of the most stalwart, dedicated fighters on behalf of equality and opportunity. And that is where we stand. I have been blessed to see us become a government and to see us do away with capital punishment, to see us introduce single-seat constituencies, and to see us do many of these social programs that have been lacking prior a PLP government. Now, I understand that some of us have not passed on that knowledge, and so that is something for which we must accept responsibility, because we've created a society in which people now feel free. Do you know we did that? Do you know what it was like in 1998? Do you remember when people would not call the talk shows because you might recognize their voice? Do you remember that when they wrote a letter to the editor that didn't have a name? Okay, now people feel free to express themselves. That's because we have moved along towards the democracy that we envision, and people are feeling free. That means they're free also to disagree with us and to state their opinions, and we encourage that, because we are a country that wants you to come to us because you know and understand the platform on which we stand, the principles that guide our every decision. We want you, when you become a member of the PLP, we want you to know that you are standing on the shoulders of giants, people who put themselves on the line for the betterment of their families and their community. That is the great tradition from which we come. I want to just share with you also that each one teach one is something, another slogan that you should take to heart. When you read that daily paper, some people call it other names, but when you read that daily paper, I want you to read with discernment. On the front page of yesterday's paper, it talked about another party leading in the polls. On the inside page, in the editorial, it said things like, there are too many safe seats for the PLP. It would be impossible for the OBA, who has only been formed less than 18 months, to win. That would be impossible. I'm thinking, why would you start making up excuses on the inside page when on the outside page you said you had it sewed up? That tells me that things are not as they are trying to make them seem on the outside. You must always look on the inside. I leave you with that. On Monday, please make sure that you come out early, vote, and since you can only vote once, make sure that you get somebody else to go and give the other vote. Thank you.
Premier, ministers, colleagues, they left me to the end because, as Lauren says, you're the oldest thing in the PLP right now. About 5 minutes, a brisk walk from here, is where Rayo's garage used to be. That is where the PLP began. On Monday, the 17th, losing is not an option for the PLP, and winning has a responsibility. At that garage, the concept of a Labor Party was born. And from that concept came giants: Lois Brown Evans, Freddie Wade, Eugene Cox, David Allen. I'm only naming a few. And the moment that concept became a reality, Sir Henry Tucker, heading up the 40 Thieves, created with black surrogates, sound familiar? A party that was supposed to crush the PLP. Well, the UBP is gone, and the PLP is still here standing strong. It's standing strong because Lois Brown Evans came back, took on one of the key members of the 40 Thieves, Tobiah Deal, and she won. Losing was not an option for Dame Lois. Freddie Wade was a teacher. When you were a teacher in the old days, you weren't politically free, so he had to quit being a teacher, train himself as a lawyer, so that he could go to Parliament and stand strong for all of Bermudians. Losing was not an option for Freddie Wade. Eugene Cox ran many times, successfully, in his constituency. And then on one occasion he couldn't. And he brought his brilliant daughter back to Bermuda from college. And she stood. She didn't win, but she did so brilliantly that when Dame Lois stepped down, Paula Cox stepped in, and now is the Premier of Bermuda, party leader, and standing strong for Bermudans. Losing wasn't an option for the Cox family. David Allen he ate, slept, and drank PLP politics. And he did so until he died. The PLP logo that you see, David Allen created. And he was PRO, spokesman, and face for the PLP when it wasn't safe for black or white to stand up for PLP. Losing was not an option for David Allen until the day he died. Fred Wade invited Alex Scott, PR person, advertising man, to shift and change the PLP image. And we had a little agency, and we had a beautiful, vivacious Senator Jennifer Smith as our administrator. And together, she, with Buddy Hill, we created Send Jack a Message. Express yourself. Make it happen. And we kept doing that until the day Jennifer, myself, and Buddy decided that Scott Croft should be no more because 1998 was coming, and we should put all of our energy in winning the country for the PLP, because losing finally had not become an option for the PLP party. The PLP won in 98, UBP lost in 98. They lost in 03, they lost in 07, and they became a losing proposition. So much so that a secret document was created, and that document suggested that they should have black surrogates join with the white members. And their aim was to create a new party to do what? Crush the PLP. Sound familiar? Well, I got news for them, and I want to tell you what you need to know. On Monday, the PLP is going to win handsomely. The PLP is going to win handsomely. And that requires from you the membership, your loyalty, and your support on the 18th. Because Premier Paula Cox and the cabinet and the party and the government are going to face a challenging time. And it's going to need all of your support, because winning is a shared responsibility. And so as we approach, now as the new government, the 50th anniversary of the PLP, 50 years of PLP, we need you to honor the names of all of those who've gone before. And do what? Stand strong. Stand strong as we go forward as the new government of the country of Bermuda. Thank you so much. Thank you so very, very much.
Solid as a rock. That's what this love is.
Solid as a
That's
rock.
what we've got.
How about that?
Oh,
3 former party leaders, 3 former premiers.